The God Comp mirrors seem to be pretty volatile with the amount of burst available, so you can swap and just erase someone instantly. There's a lot on the line here as well. Both the teams facing elimination, so I would expect the Holy Paladin Shattermere though.
Yeah, that's what I'm expecting too. But here we go. We're going to jump into it and see what compositions these guys are going to be playing in the very first map. It's going to be Dalaran. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm just going to say Dalaran Sewers. It's actually Dalaran Sewers, promise. Welcome to Dalaran Sewers, I mean the Grand Arena. It's Tempo Storm versus I Like the Status. And like you said, man, you predicted the future. We have a God Comp mirror here in the lower bracket. This is the lower bracket. The team that loses this series will be eliminated from the tournament completely. And you know, I Like the Status, they want to prove that they're here to compete. Tempo Storm moving in with DJ Peekaboo instead of his Rogue at this point.
Yeah, we can see both the teams just trading off early on, building up icicles for the attack. We see Hodge on the Merc Mines. Tempo Storm pull the trigger first. Sam I Am getting silenced on his trinket. A lot of burst to follow it up. This could be the block early on. Trying to get out of line of sight, trying to go for an invisibility here. But Jamili is not going to allow that. He's going to finish off Sam I Am. Merc Mines getting swapped over to. Oh. What is going on for I Like This Status right now? Tempo Storm are walking all over them.
The damage is real coming out from Tempo Storm, forcing a block and execution sentence, as well as the wings coming out from Rubcub. He still has those wings available to him, so now he wants to get offensive with him. Horrify goes out onto Peekaboo, deep freeze onto Elite. Can they follow it up, or is it going to be interrupted? It looks like it's gonna land. That full polymorph lands, and is this gonna be Jamili's first block? Saber the Light is gonna proc. Merc Mines being put into that defensive polymorph from Jamili, and now they're gonna swap that polymorph over onto Sam I Am as Merc Mines is in the fear. Hodge onto Rubcub, Horrify onto Merc Mines. He's gonna trinket out of that to try to stay offensive as Elite's put into that full fear. Jamili now caught into the half polymorph, but Tempo Storm did a great job negating this aggression coming out from I Like the Status, and Jamili's going to walk away holding on to that block. Merc Mines still the kill target now. They're swapping that damage over onto Sam I Am. He has another block available to them, but DJ Peekaboo forced to disperse on the back foot.
Yeah, being down that disperse means that he's a very option here for I Like His Status getting bursted down at the moment. Elite caught in that deep freeze. Peekaboo now getting silenced up, but with no CC on Elite, he should be able to heal Peekaboo back up. Elite getting fully feared, forced to trinket out of that. Merc Mines defensively polymorph. Jamili looking to rotate that over to Rubcub here very shortly, but he gets it. He lands the full sheep. Sam I Am knows he's the kill target. He's trying to get out of line of sight. We see that Jamili's just going right after him, not afraid to chase after Sam I Am whatsoever. Jamili getting polyed up for a second here, trying to finish him off. No CC for Rubcub. He should be able to pick him back up here. Jamili and Peekaboo pulling back with Elite at the moment. Merc Mines pushing forward. He does have that dispersion available. He can play very aggressive right now. Peekaboo actually going in. He is not afraid to die. Going in right into Rubcub, landing a full fear. Merc Mines caught into the horrified. Peekaboo looking to try and end this. Jamili trying to go for a sheep here. Has that deep freeze available. Goes for the Frostjaw instead. Merc Mines could be in a lot of trouble here. Already down to half HP. Can Jamili get the sheep? Lands a full sheep. Rubcub's choosing to bubble out of that. Dispels Merc Mines, with Jamili getting a bubble for that polymorph. A very effective trade, and deep freeze is still available.
It is still available here, but Peekaboo is also a very good target. The full Hodge goes out. He doesn't have that disperse. The bubble land is going to be used by Elite, as he knows Peekaboo didn't have that disperse, and they're just going to pull back for now, just trade up that setup for that bubble for now. And 39 seconds remain on Peekaboo. He's still super vulnerable for this next setup, but they want to get aggressive. Silence on the Sam I Am, deep freeze on the Rubcub into a Frostjaw. Hodge on the Merc Mines, massive spell to prevent that CC from being broken. Saved by the Light's going to be used. Rubcub caught into the full fear. Sam I Am still in a little bit of trouble. He has that block available to him, but he doesn't want to use it just yet. Deep freeze goes out onto Elite. Horrifying to Peekaboo. No disperse available for 18 more seconds. Hodge now onto Peekaboo. That Aura Master is going to stop, but Sam I Am is so low. Deep freeze goes out, and that's going to force the block on Sam I Am. DR Frostjaw goes out onto Rubcub. He's going to rebuke it as well, trying to prevent himself from going into any CC, but that's the last block for Sam I Am for 15 short seconds. He's going to blink back away and play it safe. Massive spell coming out from Merc Mines onto Rubcub, getting his Holy Paladin out of that CC and ready to go for the next setup.
Yeah, both these teams are really unafraid to get right on top of each other at the moment here. We see Jamili building up for the attack. He gets his water elemental out. He's pulling the trigger. Sam I am unable to cold snap block just yet. He cold snaps there in the Horrify. He's silenced up. Rubcub trying to hold on to it. Blocks down at 10%. Peekaboo getting feared up. Elite dispels that almost instantly. We see you swap over onto Merc Mines. He's already down to half HP. Rubcub needs to be aware of this and switch over that beacon. He does now. Trying to pick him back up. Pops the heals here, the Avenging Wrath. He should be able to top him off and stabilize. Still a lot of burst up from Peekaboo and Jamili at the moment. Rubcub does top off his team, keep them in the game a little bit longer with no blocks, no bubble, no trinket. It's looking like Tempo Storm's game at the moment here. Elite holding on to his trinket throughout. We see Sam I am getting pressured hard at the moment. Jamili getting targeted down as well. He's got no blocks remaining either. He's got to be careful. Elite trinkets the polymorph. Will he be able to save Jamili in time? Down to 60% HP. Now there's the deep freeze over onto Rubcub. Jamili looking to rotate the pressure over. He gets frost shot though by Sam I am, pausing the deep freeze sheep long enough. We see Peekaboo moving in for a fear, not able to get it though onto Rubcub. Unfortunately, we see Merkmines moving forward to get a fear onto Elite. He lands the full fear onto Elite. Can they finish Jamili off with that? They need to be able to finish him off. He's down to 39% HP. I like his status despite getting kind of wrecked at the beginning of this game. They're slowly pulling it back in their favor. We see Elite getting polymorph there. Peekaboo gets the Mass Dispel. The Hodge just a little bit too late out from Rubcub, and Tempo Storm are going to stabilize. They're looking to bring the heat onto Sam I am right here and right now. There's the deep freeze over onto Rubcub. Horrify onto Sam I am. Can Jamili get the sheep? He gets silenced up. He's not able to get the sheep. Hodge over to Merkmines. Rubcub needs to dispel as he gets the dispel. Horrify over there onto Jamili, I believe, but dispelled instantly by Elite. Both of these paladins, just the reaction time is so fast.
So fast, and Sam I am still in a lot of trouble, and that's going to force the bubble out from Rubcub. Devouring Plague still going out into Sam I am. He's still taking a whole bunch of pressure, but Jamili's got to be careful. He knows it. He's going to blink right back away. He has no blocks available to him. Elite's going to go ahead and bubble all the way back there in the back line. Going to use the wings and keep his mage up for now, waiting it out because Jamili doesn't have that block available for 50 more seconds. Peekaboo also taking a whole bunch of pressure, but they have a 1 minute window here on Sam I am's block, but the trinket for Rubcub is coming back up right now. So the next setup is going to be here. 3% dampening at this point. It could go either way. This God Comp Mirror is a fierce one indeed. Rubcub, Merc Mines. I have to shout out both of these Shadow Priests. Awesome Mass Dispel. There's the Deep Freeze on the Rubcub, but can it get followed up? Peekaboo's actually going to get horrified up here. Sam I am catching the Devouring Plague as well, and the full polymorph does end up landing, and Sam I am is the kill target. At the same time, Elite saw the CC. Sam I am just goes down and takes the damage from Tempo Storm, and I like the status. Is going to lose game number 1 here. As Tempo Storm shows them what's up with that Holy Pally God Comp Mirror. Boom, man. So taking a quick look at that replay, the silence going out on to Sam I am. The polymorph onto Rubcub. I mean, I like how they're CCing Elite so they could turn that pressure back around, but too little too late as Sam I am was just out of buttons. And that double fear, it was a cross CC galore, and I like the status is going to lose. And here we go. Tempo Storm up 1 game here, and that Holy Pally God Comp Mirror went all the way to dampening. That's crazy.
Oh my god. Alright, well, Tempo Storm, they started out in a dominating position. I like the status playing disadvantaged for a large part of the game. Kept themselves alive throughout, but not enough to turn it around. Tempo Storm are going to take the first game. Map selection, I don't think, is going to be too big of a deal here. For both of these teams, but I would expect probably Holy Paladin God Comp Mirror throughout this entire series.
Yep, we're going to see here very, very shortly what map we're going to be going into. So probably another Holy Pally God Comp Mirror, keeping it very, very even between these two teams, and that was still so close. I mean, I think that if I like my status just refined a few things, rotated the defensive cooldowns, they'd be able to take a much closer series. That series itself was so close, though, I have to say. But here we go. We're getting some more information from the admin. Ruins of Lordaeron is actually going to be the map choice. So getting rid of all of that line of sight. Who needs line of sight? And here we go. Jumping back into the action. I'll see you guys in just 1 moment. Ruins of Lordaeron. Welcome to Ruins of Lordaeron. It's Tempo Storm versus I Like the Status in game number 2 here in the lower bracket. Tempo Storm looking super duper strong. I like the status, though. They've proven that they can make stuff happen time and time again, coming all the way from the qualifiers, going up against Tempo Storm's Holy Paladin God Comp, and the games are about to start. Here we go.
Yeah, let's see if Sam I Am can keep up with the heat that Tempo Storm is bringing. I would like to see, I like his status, try and get the momentum early on. Tempo Storm was able to just keep their momentum throughout. In the last game, we see Jamili moving forward. Polymorphs out early onto Merkmines. Deep Freeze onto Rubcub. Jamili rotating that Polymorph over onto Rubcub. Sam I Am in a lot of trouble. Once again, Tempo Storm getting the early lead here. Merkmine looking for a Master Spell. Gets it on the Polymorph. Well done. Breaking up that CC. But now he's caught into a full fear from Peekaboo. Nice follow-up. We see Rubcub popping that Avenging Wrath, though, to try and heal through the pressure. Elite caught into a Deep Sheep. Master Spell out from Peekaboo. That Horrify just a little bit too late on him to stop that Master Spell. And both of these priests playing like gods. Triple fear, though, out from Merkmines. Looking for the setup onto Jamili. He's got to be a little bit cautious here. How much damage is available? He's hiding behind the cemetery tomb at the moment. Elite caught into the Frostron now. Deep Freeze over onto Rubcub, though. Jamili looking to rotate that sheep over. He gets silenced by Merkmines. Merkmines caught into the Hodge. And again, both of these paladins just dispel, 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 dispel. It's like machine guns, instantly removing the CC and keeping their teams on the offense.
You know that both those paladins are running that double dispel glyph, getting them out of as much as humanly possible. Jamili going forward, trying to get that polymorph from the Rubcubs. Going to get interrupted here. Or Mastery from Rubcubs is going to keep his team aggressive. Deep Freeze polymorph lands on Elite, though, and Jamili's all alone with Peekaboo in that stun. Is this surely going to be a block here? He knows that he's going to go ahead and trade it up, and regardless of Tempo Storm's early aggression onto Sam I Am, they got the block before Tempo Storm got Sam I Am's. Now the fear to follow up the CC. Jamili's out of the block at this point, 34% health. Elite going to go ahead and use those wings, but Rubcub using his bubble as well. Hodge onto Merkmines, and it looks like Sam I Am is going to be completely fine with Rubcub's bubble, but was that the right choice to use the bubble at that time? Now he's out of the bubble. The fear lands, and Sam I Am could be in a bit of trouble here. This is the orb coming out from Jamili. Gets silenced on it. Now the Horrify onto Jamili. They're just swapping the aggression right back over onto him as Elite gets put into that full polymorph. Hand of Sacrifice goes out on Jamili right before the second polymorph, but the damage just wasn't there. The triple fear coming out. Devouring Plague on Jamili. He has another block, and another block is forced already for I like the status in a much better game coming out from this qualifier team.
Yeah, Merkmines is carrying really hard with these triple fears over and over. We see the Deep Freeze over onto Rubcub, but Jamili gets silenced, and Merkmines is just so good at shutting down CC, getting CC, and now, unfortunately, Peekaboo and Jamili have overlapped the fear and the polymorph. They need to get a block with this overlap or a dispersion. Looks like they're going after Merkmines. He needs to be careful. Down at 14%, getting that dispersion off. Elite bubbling in the meantime, knowing that Jamili has no blocks remaining. He needs to use something to keep him stable right now, but the next push could be the game for I Like This status. They get the full fear onto Elite. They get the poly on Peekaboo's trigger. Jamili is surely going to go down. He gets silenced up. Denounces are flying through. They're looking to end him. Saved by the Light is going to proc. Defensive Frost onto Merkmines. He trinkets out into a silence from Peekaboo. Jamili retreating back to the room. Elite gets polyed up. He's coined for the first aid. He's stealing some moves out of Woundman's book, doing everything to stay alive. Elite stone forms out of the Frost Draw, keeps Jamili alive. Now looking to try and make something happen, but Jamili gets locked on that polymorph. He's just not able to rotate the pressure around. Elite lives through the Deep Freeze. He pops the Avenging Wrath, and Tempo Storm are still alive right now. Full fear onto Elite. A full poly onto Peekaboo. I Like His status are relentless at the moment. Jamili caught into the Horrify. Elite caught into the full sheep. Peekaboo caught into the full Hodge. How is Jamili still alive? Trying to line of sight here. Will the Ice Lance finish him off? Merkmine's right on top of him and takes him down. And I Like This status are going to tie the series up 1-1.
Holy moly, a completely different game coming around from I Like the status. The cross CC at the very end there was just disgusting. Nasty cross CC. The fear, the poly, the Hodge. It just never ended, and Jamili just felt like it was a 1v3 to the bitter end. But there we go. It's tied up 1-1 in this best of 5 series. Both these teams are playing with their tournament lives on the line. Who will come out ahead in this Holy Paladin God Comp Mirror? I don't know, man.
I think Jamili is the only player I see lately, anyway, on the online turns that actually uses the bandages.
That's a pretty solid move. You gotta shout him out for that first aid there, the desperation first aid inside of the dungeon. But here we go. He
does absolutely everything possible.
We're going to get into the next game here very, very shortly, everybody. We're going to see what map Tempo Storm is going to be choosing. And then at that point, oh, thank you so much for that subscription, Smexon. I really do appreciate the support, buddy. We have been getting so much donations and so much support directly towards us. Every dollar that we get, we go directly towards future tournament prize pools. So thank you guys so much for that support. Shout out to Farmer Booty Play as well for that subscription. I really do appreciate that, buddy. And we also got a few donations. I'll shout them out as we wait for the map choice and the compositions to be locked in. We had a $10 donation from RL is just AFK, and he says, I love these tournaments. Also, shout out to Born God and Floria, my Holy Paladin heroes. Shout out to the Holy Paladin heroes. Thank you so much for that generous donation. We also got a donation from Watch Me Blink 1, to be determined whether or not that's actually Mitch. So shout out to Mitch. I love you, dude. Got off the phone. Probably should read this before I end up reading it out loud to you preemptively. So let me just read this for you guys. I'm just not going to read that. But thank you so much for the $3, man. I really do appreciate it. And here we go. We're going to jump back into the games. Let's do it. Alright, here we go. We have Holy Pally God Comps coming out from these teams once again, but it's Holbron Arena. I mean, with a mirror matchup like this, it doesn't really give any team an advantage. But,
you know, it's so weird. Both these teams, like, this is the exact opposite of the series we saw with Method and Black, where both teams were reluctant to push. Both of these teams don't stop. They just constantly, like, I'm getting in there, man. Like, both of them just running right at each other. It's weird to see. Like, you don't see this level of aggression in a Wizard mirror like this, but it makes it so much more exciting to watch.
Yeah, I love it, dude. I have to love it. And the clutch massive spells coming out from both of these Shadow Priests are downright amazing. Here we go. Gates have opened. It's Tempo Storm versus I Like to Say. It's the mirror matchup. Jamili and Peekaboo pushing right in. Their aggression early on over and over and over again paid off for him in game number 1, but not so much in game number 2. Here we go. Hodge goes out into Peekaboo. Silence onto Jamili, but is the CC there for Elite? Doesn't look like it just yet. Horrify goes out on Jamili. Looks like they're going to be going onto him now. Deep Freeze onto Rubcub. No Polymorph to follow it up, but Merc Mine's currently the kill target for Tempo Storm. Taking a whole bunch of pressure. Hand of Sacrifice comes out from Rubcub right before that Frostjaw into the full Polymorph, and it gets broken out by that Hand of Sacrifice. Great Hand of Sacrifice by Rubcub, stopping a lot of that momentum, but Jamili forced on the back foot. Save of the Light procking as well from Elite. Wings Execution Sense with the triple fear from Merc Mines is going to make Jamili still a hot target to kill. Hodge goes out into Jamili, no blink available, taking a whole bunch of pressure. 3v1 scenario, gonna force a block out from Jamili, and I Like the Status are looking so strong opening up this game.
Yeah, Triple Fear had Jamili pinned down behind the pillar. Now that they've stabilized, they're looking to rotate the pressure onto Sam-I-Am, onto that Horrify, but they don't follow up the sheep onto Rubcub. Merkmine's going to trinket out here. Merkmine's actually playing very aggressively at the sneeze moment. Tempo Storm pulling back to the pillar here with Elite, trying to reset themselves a little bit. Jamili building up some icicles. Sam-I-Am looking like he wants to move in here with that Pet Nova. Are they going to pull the trigger? Where's the Deep Freezes? Who's going to get it first? Jamili's not up for 5 more seconds. Sam-I-Am getting punished hard, though. Silenced up with that double Ice Nova. His Save of the Light is going to proc as a result. There's the Deep Freeze onto both Paladins. Which Mage is going to get the sheep? Elite's going to have to bubble first, and it's a game of chicken, and Elite is going to fall behind as a result.
Yes, he is. And Jamili still taking the pressure over and over and over again. He has another block available to him, but they are behind for sure. Horrify goes out into Sam-I-Am. They're trying to even this up. Jamili blinking in. He's going to pull back for now. Get the Ice Nova out onto Sam-I-Am. Cascade hitting him as well. Rubcub getting silenced up. Nothing to follow it up just yet. Sam-I-Am looks like he's A-okay for now, but he just takes so much damage. But here's the setup. The fear goes out into Elite. Hodge onto Peekaboo. Jamili all alone, but he's line of sighting quite a few of them, and looks like he's going to be A-okay throughout that setup, but the setup's not over yet apparently as he takes more and more damage. Devouring Plague and Denounce is coming out, and I'm going to proc the Save by the Light. Deep Freeze on Elite, but nothing to follow it up just yet as Peekaboo is stopping a whole bunch of that CC. Now Sam-I-Am taking a whole bunch of the pressure, and Rubcub's forced to bubble to keep him up through all of that, and both of these teams have stabilized for now, but Jamili, or Tempo Storm I should say, are the team that's currently behind.
Yeah, Jamili's still down 1 ice block. Elite's Avenging Wrath is going to be fading here. Rubcub preemptively sacrificing. Jamili sees that, spell steals it off. Peekaboo, I believe, actually was the one that ended up purging it. So let's see who pulls the trigger first. Deep Freezes are up. There's the Deep Freeze on a Rubcub. Looks like Tempo Storm are going to pull the trigger first. Sam-I-Am taking an immense amount of damage, trades the block out almost immediately. I would imagine that I Like to Status are going to reverse this pressure around, though, immediately out of the block. Sam-I-Am going for the sheep, lands it onto Peekaboo, rotates the sheep over onto Elite. Hodge onto Peekaboo to deny the Master Spell. Peekaboo trinkets out, goes for the Master Spell, gets the Master Spell, but Sam-I-Am's there with the Deep Freeze follow-up. Really well done, and follows it up with the Half Sheep. Jamili's still in trouble. A lot of damage chasing after him. He's down to 24% HP with 1 more block remaining. Peekaboo trying to off-heal him here. He's just going to trade the block. Playing really safe there. I'm not even sure if he really needed to. Elite's going to pull back here, but suddenly Jamili's out of blocks. Elite has no bubble. The only thing standing between him and death is Elite's trinket, but Merkmine's already securing a fear onto Elite. I Like his status of relentless, never giving up the momentum. Rubcub caught into the Deep Freeze, though. Jamili trying to go for the Frost Shot, gets locked out. looking for a sheep, not able to get it just yet. There's the full sheep. Hodge over to Merkmines. Merkmines trinkets out of that Hodge right away into a frost shell though. Jamili doing a good job to cover his polymorph, but Sam I Am's just on the opposite side of the desert at the moment, line of sighting all this pressure. Merkmines getting swapped over to. We see the Shadow Fiend out for a Peekaboo, trying to build up some momentum here. Sam I Am now getting swapped back to as he's stuck in the middle of the map, but he lands a deep sheep. Elite's forced to trinket. Jamili has one more block remaining now. His Cold Snap coming off CD. Both mages with one block remaining. Rubcup getting locked out on a Denounce. Sam I Am could be in trouble, but he's always behind the pillar, always instantly retreating when he's in trouble here. Jamili now caught in the center field. Rubcup into the Fear. Merkmine into the Hodge. It looks like they're going to swap over to him. A bit of an overlap, though, with the Horrify, and Rubcup's able to trinket and remove both of those CCs for one.
Yep, silence now into Merkmines. The CC hasn't ended for Rubcup just yet. Jamili getting defensively polymorphed by Sam I Am over and over and over again. But because of this, sounds like, whoa, Sam I Am taking a whole bunch of pressure. Deep freeze onto Sam I Am, and Rubcub, I'm sorry, deep freeze on the Rubcub. Nothing to follow it up just yet, but it's still going to force a block without any CC regardless as Jamili pushes in and gets that Ice Nova behind the pillar. And all of a sudden, Sam I Am without a block and Jamili with one. Tempo Storm has turned it around on I Like the Status. Deep freeze polymorph goes out onto Elite, though. They're trying to turn this pressure around onto Jamili. Merkmine's getting that Horrify off out onto Peekaboo as well. And Jamili Saber the Light's going to proc. Elite put into the full Fear right before the execution sentence. He's going to hand a sacrifice on Jamili, but it's going to get purged off fairly quickly. And they're turning the pressure back onto Sam I Am now. The Devouring Plague going out. Deep freeze onto Rubcup. Hodge onto Merkmines is going to force Rubcup's bubble at this point. And Tempo Storm is slowly getting every defensive cooldown out from I Like the Status. And they're looking fairly good moving forward. They got and secured a lead from being behind.
Yep, Jamili and Peekaboo are looking good right now. Rubcup actually getting swapped over onto, already down to 45% health. We see Jamili forced to trinket there. Elite getting full poly. Peekaboo gets hodged on the Master Spell. Jamili completely alone, trying to line of sight. Blazing Speed to the other side, but Rubcup's right there to meet him with a Denounce. Well met, my friend. Forcing the block out from Jamili. Elite still caught into a Fear, but Sam I Am unable to follow it up. Caught into a Horrify at the moment. Rubcup caught into the Deep Freeze. Jamili gets silenced on the poly. He gets Aura Mastered out by Elite. Good coordination from Tempo Storm. Rubcup now caught into the Sheep. They're looking to take Sam I Am down. He's got no block for 7 more seconds. He's got to be careful. Merkmine looking for a Massive Spell on that Polymorph. Not able to get it just yet. Jamili follows it up with the half poly into the quarter poly. Sam I Am trying to pull back here for a second here and reset. Jamili sees it. He's going to pull out as well. And we can see Merkmine just relentlessly chasing after with that Feather Sprint, looking to maybe get a triple Fear here. Will he be able to land it? He's waiting for the perfect opportunity.
Fear Ward just goes on to Elite, man. Oh my gosh, Peekaboo actually Fear Warded Elite before that, making it so Merkmines couldn't get that Fear off. Silence goes out onto Jamili, and Elite's going to go ahead and bubble here throughout this onslaught. He doesn't have a block available to him. Deep freeze onto Rubcub. Sam I Am pushing back now at this point. Massive Spell for Merkmine's going to get Rubcub out of that CC for now. But Fear goes out into Merkmine's and misses Rubcub. The misplay coming out. Rubcub now free to get those casts off onto Sam I Am. He's just trying to juke the counterspell from Jamili. Not going to get the counterspell just yet, and Sam I Am's going to be okay moving forward with one block. Jamili still has 30 seconds left on his block. He is super vulnerable, and Tempo Storm knows it. They're going to pull back, but this is getting harder and harder through a Rubcub and Elite to heal through. 11% dampening at this point. It could be anyone's game.
Yep, still anyone's game. Jamili with no blocks for 14 seconds probably wants to play patient right now and wait for that. He's mounting up. Interesting mount choice from him. It's very big. He's very obvious where he is on the map with this, but Jamili is the one for confidence. Let's see. He's building up some icicles. Sam I Am as well, building up some icicles. This next attack is going to be huge. There's the Hodge on the Peekaboo. I like his status of pulling the trigger first, but Rubcub Elite pre-sacrificed the Deep Freeze, and that's going to break up the chain, but they're swapping to Peekaboo. He's going to have to disperse. He's already down to 40%. Elite forced to pop the Avenging Wrath. Now Tempo Storm looking to rotate the pressure over. Deep Freeze into the Frost Shot onto Rubcub. Sam I Am taking a lot of damage. He's got one more block remaining. Will he be able to get it off in time? Rubcub is going to stop them in their tracks, popping that Avenging Wrath and topping them off. Now they could swap over onto Merkmines. Merkmines got to be aware of it. He's down to 42%. His Saber Light already proccing. Tempo Storm shredding through. I like this status's health bar as if they were made out of butter. Elite's looking to retreat for now with no Avenging Wrath. It could be a bit of a close call for Peekaboo on the next setup. Tempo Storm all have their trinkets. Both of these teams trying to end this. Jamili caught into the silence, down to half HP. He's got one more block remaining. There's the cross CC over on the Peekaboo, but they don't get the polymorph. Merkmine's looking for a Master Spell. Rubcub overlapping his trinket with that. Jamili still getting pressured though. Elite forced to trinket. Throws it the Hodge on the Merkmines. Merkmines gets dispelled immediately into a Horfire. Dispelled again by Rubcub. Great dispels from Rubcub. Jamili forced to block as a result. They might swap over on a Peekaboo. He's got no dispersion available. Ice Nova #1 out from Sam I Am. Half polymorph onto Elite with no way out. No dispersion. Peekaboo needs to get to the pillar. Is he going to get out of line of sight? He gets out of line of sight just in time, but Jamili is going to fall in the swap, and I like his status are relentless now. Their momentum is swinging so hard, and they are up 2-1 and 1 win away from advancing and eliminating Tempo Storm.
Oh man, the qualification team coming out out hot with this Holy Paladin God comp, is stepping toe-to-toe with Tempo Storm and saying, we can play your game. And 2-1 currently at 20% dampening that game. Crazy game. I can't wait to see what happens next. And Tempo Storm has map choice once again, but with mirror composition, it's not going to matter all that much. But I'm still super curious to where it is they're going to be coming next. Oh,
that damage on Jamili was so huge. He's at 30%, 29 dead.
Yeah, it was crazy. Alright, as soon as we get confirmation on the map choice as well as the compositions from both of these teams, we're going to be jumping right back into the action. So just let me explain that to you guys real quick. The way that this works is that the losing team of a game then gets to choose what map. That map gets announced to the winning team. The winning team can then take that information to determine what composition the enemy team might be playing and lock in their own composition. Then that composition that the winning team locks in, it gets announced to the losing team for them to be able to swap their composition to get an advantage if they so choose, or if they even have that available to them. So the way it kind of works is it's losing team, map, winning team, comp, losing team, comp, in that order. And then the very first game of every series is a blind pick on the Grand Arena, is the way that our format works.
Oh man, I'm curious if Tempo Storm is going to feel obligated to change their composition. They have been one to be reluctant in the past, like in the tournament history. They're always about the mirrors. If they can't win in a mirror, then they won't settle for anything else. So you can say that's both confidence and arrogance maybe at the same time.
Confidence and arrogance at the same time. I don't know, man. I don't know. They looked so strong in game number 1. I don't know, the damage coming out from this team, from Tempo Storm in the very beginning, was just downright terrifying. But we're going to be going into game number 3? No, this is game number 4.
Four. Almost done, potentially. Both of these losers semifinal. Oh, actually, is this the semifinals for losers? Not technically, but all these matches towards the end have been going 3-2, and it's been really close. So it's exciting to see. And I liked his status. It looked kind of shaky at the beginning of the first game, and now they've kind of found their thunder. They're no longer, what's the word, shy? It seemed like they were shy in the first game.
They were
no longer shy. They're like, I'm taking my pants off, and we're going.
I'm taking my pants
like
off, and we're going.
They're not shy anymore, man.
That's what happens when I get
going.
confident. I just decide to take my pants off. Doesn't matter what I'm confident in. Just, like, take my pants off, then. You know, but it might help them. Their pants being off is definitely helping them in this series so far. I like the status as won 2 in a row and are just 1 away from taking the entire series. Tempo Storm, they're gonna have to pick it back up, but you have to say that this Magic Rooster on Peekaboo just looks downright awesome. You know, I actually think I want that Magic Rooster more than I want the Spectral Tiger at this point.
You can't tell me that you don't play games with your pants off better. Everyone in chat's like freaking out.
Wait,
like,
I totally don't. I like pants
yeah,
on. Dude, I get cold.
What? No, how do you get cold? You live in California.
No,
don't
I'm
you?
in
Oh, no,
Georgia.
You don't live in California anymore. Oh yeah, it is cold for you.
It's kind of
All
cold.
right, that's fair.
It's like
That's
30
fair.
degrees.
I live in Canada and I still play with no pants on, and I'm fine.
Well, you're a winter man. But anyway, here we go. Icicles being accumulated by both mages here in the opener. Merkmines in stealth here, trying to look for a fear. I don't think he's going to get it just yet. Silence on the Samayam, Horrify on the Samayam, Deep Freeze on the Rubcub, full Polymorph lands. Is this going to be a block right away from Samayam? Saved by the Light's going to go through. Merkmines caught into that Hodge throughout all that as well. The Cross CC was there. Now the DR Polymorph lands onto Rubcub, but on the back foot, Jamili actually getting horrified up with Elite in a Polymorph. Samayam getting away with not using his block just yet. Execution sentence and wings coming out from Elite, keeping Jamili offensive. Can they make something happen onto Samayam? Samayam's just desperately running away here, trying to hold on to that block. They're going to swap that damage over onto Merkmines. Denounce is coming out as well from Elite, and it looks like they're going to be playing down below. I'm not sure if that's the right move, but here we go. Jamili just unloading those Frostbolts. Now they're swapping it over onto Merkmines. They're going to hodge him up. It's going to get dispelled very, very quickly, but
how does he do that?
So low. Deep Freeze out under Rubcubs into the full fear, into the Frost Jaw. Merkmines is going to have to, is going to catch heals from Rubcub using that bubble. Now the Horrify onto Jamili, and the full Polymorph lands onto Elite. It's going to get mass dispelled by Peekaboo, keeping Jamili offensive, but now another CC. The fear is out for Elite, and now the DR Polymorph, he's out on DRs on all the CC, but Samayam is so scared. Mass dispel going to take off that Devouring Plague as well as some other debuffs onto Samayam. Hodge onto Merkmines. They're swapping the damage over on him, and Tempo Storm says, hey, if you guys want to come and play on this bridge, we will do so much damage to you, forcing to disperse on Merkmines. Polymorph DR onto Rubcub. Samayam and Merkmines still sitting low at 50% health here. Can Rubcub keep him up?
Tempo Storm are just eradicating I Like the Status at the moment. I Like the Status looking to try and swing the momentum back in their favor, targeting down Jamili, but Peekaboo got a nice Master Spell on that full sheep. Murkmines follows it up with that full fear. Jamili's still in trouble, forced to use that first block, and actually now Jamili is behind on block, so I Like the Status, despite taking so much damage, are swinging this back in their favor. Rubcup, though, caught in the sheep. Murkmines caught into that full Fist of Justice, could easily be a block out from Stemma. He's just going to trade it up, not going to take any risks whatsoever. We can see Murkmines here at the center bridge. Maybe he wants to move forward for a fear. There's the deep freeze. Murkmines actually gets locked on Shadow. No dispersion available. Rubcup sees it. He's going to trinket right away, trying to spam heal him back to full. Elite caught into that Polymer. Peekaboo caught into the Hodge. Jamili needs to retreat now as well. Full fear out from Murkmine onto 2 players. Can they finish off Jamili in time? Peekaboo goes for the Master Spell. Once again, a nice Master Spell from Peekaboo is going to remove the CC onto Elite. Jamili looking to swing the momentum around now with that deep freeze over on the Rubcup. He gets the sheep. Samayam completely alone. He's got 1 more block remaining. He's trying to hold on to it. He blocks down at 24% HP, and Tempo Storm in Defiance have switched this game completely around. Murkmine's getting locked on that Master Spell, getting swapped over. He's got no dispersion. Full fear on the Rubcup. Murkmines is easily going to go down, and Tempo Storm are going to tie this series up 2-2, and we're going to a game number 5, ladies and gentlemen.
Game number 5, indeed. Well said, sir. Well said. It is 2-2. Are you kidding me? I Like the Status is going to lose game number 4 here against Tempo Storm, and now everything is on the line, and there's only 1 map remaining. And what map is that? Isn't there only 1 map? Or is there 2? I think there's 2 maps.
I think it's 2. I actually don't know.
I'm trying to think. I'm asking. Don't worry, guys. I'm asking the head admin. There's 2 maps. Okay.
Yeah, my job is to talk about pants. I don't need to keep track of
My job is to talk about okay, so the 2 maps that are left are Tiger's Peak and Dalaran Sewers, and I have to say I'm expecting to go to Tiger's Peak. I mean,
yeah, probably.
Dalaran Sewers is kind of scary. Negran Sewers is left.
Runes is scary too, though, for I Like the Status. It seems when both of these teams just stay in center field that Tempo Storm comes out ahead. When I Like the Status have a place to run and retreat to, it starts to favor them. So maybe Dalaran would be better, so they at least have a point to like reset on with the boxes, whereas Runes Lordaeron, you're not going to reset, really. It's just going to be teeing off in the middle of the map. Wizard Battle of Extraordinary Power. And
Wizard Battle of Extraordinary Power.
Whoever studied more at Hogwarts is probably going to win here.
Yep. You know, and I'm pretty sure Peekaboo, he's brand new to Hogwarts, you know, but he's doing so well. Definitely exceeding at his class. What, he just recently became a wizard, Harry. Do Ring of Valor.
Recently became a wizard. What the?
Alright, we're going to be jumping into the last game of this best of 5 series very soon. Taking a quick look at that bracket. It's Tempo Storm versus I Like the Status in the lower bracket, fighting their way through this lower bracket to get to the finals. Tempo Storm down, or just tied now with I Like the Status 2-2. Last game here. Last game. I cannot wait to see what's going to happen in this last game. But the winner of this series is going to go on to face Cloud9. Now, Tempo Storm, if they win against I Like the Status, they are going to be going up against Cloud9 once again. And Cloud9 actually beat Tempo Storm 3-2 in a super close series yesterday in the upper bracket. So that's going to be a rematch of earlier on in the tournament. And that series is going to determine who goes to the finals to face Splice. I can't wait to see what happens. Here we go,
yeah,
everybody.
And I Like the Status, actually, important to note, came from the qualifier bracket.
Yeah.
So they weren't even in the main tournament to begin with. This is a hard-fought battle for them to make it this far, and facing elimination could be a scary moment for them.
Yeah, this is it. It's game point, all on the line. All their hard work. They've been fighting all the way since Friday through a single elimination bracket that was very difficult. And then they went all the way through this double elimination bracket, fighting their way through the lowers. And here we go. The last game of this best of 5 series, ladies and gentlemen, will be played out on Tiger's Peak. Hi everybody. I know you expected to be in Tiger's Peak right now, but unfortunately one of the teams had to leave before the gates opened. So we are going to continue to wait for the queue at this point. But yeah, so it is Tiger's Peak. We didn't... wait, actually, did we see the compositions from both of these teams?
I think
I don't
it's
even know.
God count, but yeah, someone had a problem left, so
So we're gonna see Amir to the bitter end of this best of 5 series.
I'm pretty sure it
Wait,
was
wait,
gonna be.
wait.
Am I wrong?
Did you just read? Don't say it out loud. But did you read what's in party chat? If what that means is it, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, you know what I'm saying. Okay, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying,
So I missed
man. You
it.
know what I'm saying.
I
All right,
feel
we
like we
won't.
got
I'm ruining the surprise, man. Officer Bean
okay.
is in attendance for game number 5.
Make sure
So
everybody's giving BSX his energy. BSX, BSX. Is it
Jamili
true,
is a
Hannah?
little
Was
bit of a
Officer Bean
hoodlum,
there?
man.
What's the okay, Hannah? Just break it for us. What's the compositions? What are we about to see here?
They're playing SMP.
We have a Feral Mage Paladin coming out from I Like to Status right here. Up for elimination, Bean. Their secret weapon coming out of nowhere against this Holy Paladin God comp. Is this Feral Druid or Frost Mage Holy Paladin composition the answer to the God comp mirror?
I mean, Jamili's a bit of a hoodlum, and you know the counter to hoodlums is police officers. So that's why they got
Oh,
Slayer on the team.
Bean
They're
Slayer
smart.
gonna
They thought
lock up
about this.
Jamili, man.
He's the ringer.
Here we go, everybody. We're gonna jump right back into the action as soon as possible. Oh,
5 minutes.
why did we queue?
Because he told me last time.
Oh, okay. Wait, oh wow, that's a really long time. Okay. I guess we can sit here and talk about it. So apparently they're gonna the head admin is dealing with some technical difficulties in communication with these teams. They like to troll Hannah. If you guys don't know who Hannah is my partner in crime. She's my fiance. She is the head admin and the all-around creator of GCD TV because all of these things that are go on in the background, these bracket changes, these super cool graphics, all of those things.
I just realized that Jelly Beans and Bean Slayer both have bean in it.
Whoa.
I actually only just realized that. They should team up.
Wow.
They could
The
read. They
Bean
could name
Squad,
their team
dude.
Bring in the Beans, or Bean Squad.
Oh man.
Bean Squad X.
I don't know. We could see some thug cleap from them and get some BFAs coming out hot. Some bean from aboves. I mean, Dilly Poo
Are you
and
running the game? Oh, shit.
no.
Oh. We-
Hello?
Hello, I'm in a game right now.
I'm actually not in it.
Oh, well,
Did the game
Hodge
start?
run a Bean Slayer.
Yeah, just
It
let the
did
game-
start, yeah. Elite's calling at the moment. Peekaboo hodged up. Let's
Looks
get
like
some
yeah,
wild radio right
Hannah,
now.
Hannah's gonna restart the game.
I had restarted. Bean Slayer, I don't know if they're taking the time to read their chats. Okay, Elite's gonna leave.
Alright, good.
Bean Slayer's probably thinking, wait, what?
Wait, what? Yeah, they called for a 5-minute bio. So yeah. We're gonna be jumping back into the game very, very shortly, everybody. No worries.
A bio. I haven't heard that since raiding.
Wait,
He
you
uses the
don't?
word bio.
Oh, I don't know. At school, they always forced us to use that word bio instead of bathroom. I don't know. Like, do you need to take a
Whoa.
bio break?
What? That's what they force you to do. It's like if you don't use bio, they like hit you with a ruler.
Yeah, we got in trouble.
You got whipped.
Yeah, or the thing is that they would, you know how like when you'd ask to go to the bathroom, like, can I please go to the bathroom? They'd be like, you mean may you go to the bathroom? It was that sort of thing. It was like, may I take a bio break? If I say, can I take a bio break? Or can I take a bathroom break? They would say, you have to say may. And then if I say, may I take a bathroom break? They would say, may you take a bio break?
Wow.
It's lame, right?
Your school was messed up.
Are we ready for Q yet, Hannah?
No, second.
Alright, we're just going to give them a few more seconds to jump back into the game, guys. There was just some miscommunication. One team asked to take a delay, and then all of a sudden they no longer needed the delay. So we are going to be jumping back into the game very, very shortly. No worries, everybody. What the heck are these discussions? And we're just chilling. We're just hanging out here in the semifinals of GCD tournament number 2 of the Winter Pro League. And this series is Tempo Storm versus I Like the Status. It's currently game point 2-2 here in this best of 5 series. So interesting.
Yep.
Tell me more.
I can't blame them for wanting to take a bit of time here. Obviously, they maybe want to even talk about just Bean Slayer getting subbed out since this is their last game and they know what comp it is. So they just want to talk it through the strategy of what they want to do. Did we see Beanslayer fight against a god comp as FMP yet? I'm just looking at the bracket that you have up there. So
I
like
don't.
his status beat Method Orange. They beat. No, they lost to Splice, which would not be God Comp. They lost to Method Black, which also would not be God Comp. So no, they haven't. So I don't think they've played FMP into Holy Paladin God Comp. So it'll be the first time we get to see it today. I'm curious to see if the beans are enough. Feral Druid Beanslayer is probably like, I would say his forte is going to be getting Cyclones. He's probably one of the best Feral Druids at clones, which is why you kind of see him typically playing with a mage more often.
Right.
So
I love that. I love seeing those cyclones go out because, like, you know, especially if you're a healer and when you're playing with other casters, you just feel like there's this weight off your shoulders that, like, the ghost counter spells and those interrupts aren't going just to you as the healer. So when you're running with a feral druid like that who loves to get those cyclones off, you know that the team appreciates that, not only to free up those interrupts but also.
it also just pauses the damage. If you can get clones on people low HP, clones on dispersion, it's a lot more scary for Elite's team to deal with. So I think it's kind of smart that they're bringing out the beans for the final game.
All right, here we go, everybody. The resident sleepers can now be put away as we're into the games. Tiger's Peak is the map choice. It's match point between Tempo Storm and I Like the Status, and we see the one and only BSX enter the arena to represent his team, I Like the Status. And you know, one thing I have to say that I Like the Status needs to do better moving forward into future tournaments, and I think you know what I'm about to say. They need to change their name to something a lot better than that. That name is just not good. This is not a good name.
Good at all. Anyone in Twitch chat think that I Liked His Status is a good name?
I think we should have a Twitter poll.
If this was court, we need reasonable doubt. So if one person thinks that it's an okay name, then we're wrong.
Oh wow!
Or that guy is
one
also
person
just
out of like
being
5,000
silly.
plus people can say it's an okay name, and then we're wrong. That's messed up, man.
Not 1 out of 5K. People are just going to contradict us because
Look at
they're
it, a whole bunch of
anarchists.
no's, man.
No, they're
All
just
right.
anarchists. These guys don't know. They don't understand.
They should call themselves BSX. You know, I'm in 100% agreement with Olivia Grace. Shout out to Olivia Grace. What's up? Here we go. The gate have opened. It's match point between I Like the Status and Tempo Storm. Beanslayer moving forward in stealth, looking to make that opener, looking to make his opener. Peekaboo looking for him.
Wow.
Oh, they're going to open onto Peekaboo at this point, it seems.
Yeah, he's Tiger's Fury out from Beanslayer. He's actually forced to run with it, not getting too much. He did get the snapshotted bleed, so they're going to be doing a little bit more damage. He's still building up some combo points here. I'm curious to see if they're going to continue going after Peekaboo. Jamil actually blocking and trinketing within the same set of CC. Peekaboo still in trouble, though. Might be forced to disperse early on. Caught into that main stun. Trinkets out. His Stay by the Light is going to proc. He goes for the Horrify onto Beanslayer. Elite still getting polymorphed, unable to follow up. Peekaboo could go down. He's going to go down without dispersing. I don't know if
What?
he was having flashbacks, or if he had a connection problem, or what happened there. But
Flashbacks.
that wasn't incarnation.
I Like the Status. Bringing out that Feral Mage Paladin is going to be the trick that they needed to be able to get the last win here against Tempo Storm. And DJ Peekaboo is just going to go down without using that disperse button.
I'm watching the globals. I want to see if what happened there. So he's freedom sprinting. He goes for Mass Dispel. He's trying to fake cast the Mass Dispel. Gets locked out. He lands a double fear. Breaks on Beanslayer. He gets maimed. He trinkets. He horrifies. His Save by the Light procs. They cut through that. What happens here? What happens here? So he's 2010. Power Word Shield Armor dead.
So, yeah, Power Word Shield dead.
Fine, whatever. He didn't DC.
Nope, there we go. I Like the Status is going to take the series 3-2 against Tempo Storm, and it's a pretty big upset, I have to say. I mean, they are the qualification team coming through all the way to the semifinals here in the lower bracket. It's Cloud9 going up against I Like the Status very, very shortly. I can't wait for that, but